All right, guys, it's time to check out the Breitling Top Time. Or I think a lot of people call it the Mask of Zorro or Zorro's Mask, because of the Zorro looking mask that's on the dial. So, first off, big thanks to Richard over at Saltzman's in Rhode Island. I'll put a link to their webpage in the description. Richard continually supplies some pretty epic watches to the channel for me to share with you guys. So, massive thanks for doing so. I appreciate it. So let's get into this. We'll talk about the size and then we'll get into some details. I mean, I had to look this stuff up. So the resources that I used to find this information, I'll put a link in the description. Check them out. Maybe it's a resource that you don't know about and you could look at it and maybe it would help you in the future to figure out what kind of watches you're looking at. So case size on this, you're looking at a 41 millimeter, and then the lug to lug essentially is a 50. This kind of flares out a little bit, so maybe 51, but essentially like 50. And then thickness, even with this boxed double domed sapphire crystal, you're looking at a 14.3. Keep in mind, this is an automatic chronograph. They're gonna be thick regardless. So taking that into consideration, it's really not that thick. It's actually pretty thin. 20 millimeter lug width and a 7.2 millimeter signed push-pull crown. This is not a screw-down crown. This watch is going to have a 30-meter water resist. All right, so we covered the specs as far as the size. What are we looking at here? We're looking at, it is called the Breitling Top Time, but there's a lot of Breitling Top Times. There's even that new one with the orange. So there's additional names, or in this case, a part number. I'll put the part number down in the description. It's way too long of a bunch of numbers to recite. Where does Top Time come from? Well, it was a marketing thing that Breitling did. You know why we're talking about this? Why don't we get this chronograph started? So this is a cam type operated chronograph, automatic movement. It's the ETA 7753, or based on the Valjoux 7750, and then it's modified depending on the subdial positions. Again, all of that source information will be linked down in the description. Breitling calls it the Caliber 23, 27 joules, beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and has a 1/4 second, chronograph, and then it has a 30-minute register on it as well. And then this is your running seconds over here. Of course, you have your hour and your minute. So now that that's running, I want to get back to where does Top Time come from. It was a marketing thing that Breitling did back in the, I think, mid 60s. I think their concept was like 62, 63 or something like that. And then they launched in like 65. There was actually in 1969, there was a model very similar to this. They also called it the Zorro, or Mask of Zorro. And that was a 36 millimeter watch. This one being a 41. They had to upsize it for modern reasons. Mostly because if they really want to sell them, they probably need to upsize them. They will definitely sell more 41 millimeter than they will 36. That's just the way it works. But, looking back at the history of the Top Time branding or name, it was more geared towards the younger people that they were trying to target for their audience. It was a little less serious than, say, like, something like this. Although I don't know when that came out, but it was a little more playful and a little more youth driven. So that was the reasoning for the Top Time branding. There was even a square Top Times model. It was pretty funky, and that was in the late 60s, early 70s. So same design, they just put it in a square case. So again, I'll put a link to where I found that information out in the description. So if we zoom in on this, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with how fun and playful this watch is. I mean, the hour and minute in the chronograph hand dipped in that red with a strip of lume tucked in there too is all laid over a polished handset, and that is revealed at the center stack there. So very cool. A lot of different elements going on here that all just seem to fit. Even the red here, keep trying to point at it, the red here and the 30-minute counter is kind of a fun little play, and it matches the Zorro angular dial features there with the black. So just a fun overall watch. You know, I don't take it too serious, guys. I am not big into chronographs anyway, but when they look really cool like this, and then that newer one with the orange, the pop of orange, hopefully I'll get one of those in at some point. This still has all of the stickers on it. This is otherwise a full polished case, but these being, you know, loaned in to the channel, I'm not going to peel any of that. This still has to remain a new watch. Retail price on this, $4,990. You will probably get a discount. You know, if you're interested in this, you could hit up Richard over at Saltzman's, tell him Random Rob sent you, and he'll probably work with you a little bit. This does have a snap down case back instead of a screw down, but again, you know, it's not that big of a deal because you're not talking about a dive watch here or even like a heavy sports watch. This is more of a playful chronograph. You'll also notice up top here it says 1 of 2,000. It's not individually numbered, but this is a limited run of only 2,000, and this is one of them as indicated. So you can see nice polished indices. You also have a little lume dot application all the way around, and then of course you have your outer, it's not really a railroad track, but it's, you know, your outer register there. All kind of adds to the busyness of the dial, but yet allows it to still be simple. It's not crazy busy like the Navitimer, which I'll do a video on this one really soon as well, guys. So just a very good looking fun watch. You can see you have a nice brown suede strap on top, and then of course you're going to have that signature yellow on the bottom. 20 mil tapers down to 18. It's padded up towards the top, and you know, just kind of flattens out to almost, you know, very flexible towards the bottom. So let's pop this on wrist so you can see what it looks like on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. If you're curious to what I was wearing at the time of this video, it is my Damasco DA37, I think it is. So trying to give that some wrist time. And you know, these watches, when Richard loans these in to me, I don't wear them other than for the video, but I have to say, there's many of them that he sends in that I really want to wear. This one right here, I really wanted to wear, but I know better because it's not my watch, it's brand new, and if I do something to damage that or compromise that, then I'm going to have to pony up. But this thing is just phenomenal looking. You know, and if I was super wealthy and I had an extra, you know, $4,500 laying around or something like that, I would probably swoop it up and I would add it to the collection. I don't have any doubt in my mind on it. I think I'd like it that much. So let's stop, and then we can watch it fly back. It just snaps back instantly. If we move the hour and minute hand out of the way here, and then let's start that chronograph hand again. I want to show you the B logo up there. It appears to be in like a yellow gold, whereas on my Super Ocean, it is a white gold, you know, the wing logo, and then it looks like more heritage or throwback. They're doing just the B there. And this one, if you can catch the light right, look at that, it's like a yellow gold. I like that touch. They could have easily have just done the white gold, and there's no other gold anywhere else on this as far as yellow gold. And I don't know why, but I just dig that because it's just showing that they're being playful and mixing it up. I really like that. So there it is, guys. Let me kill the light so you can see what it looks like. You know, before I do that, let's do a non-zoomed in side-by-side next to the Navi. Why not? So you can see, you know, like serious technical, you know, pilot-driven here chronograph on the left, and then you can see that weekend fun, playful, or motorsports, or whatever you want to use it for, chronograph on the right. So quite the difference in cases and overall aesthetics and designs. But both have their place. I think if you're into chronographs, I get it. Like I said before, I'm not into chronographs, but I'm starting down a rabbit hole. I'm starting to really dig them. So really nice lume on this. If I can get it to focus a little bit, I can get everything else zoomed out. There you go. So you have, even with those red hands, you have that really nicely applied strip of lume down the hour and minute. It's super legible for being a chronograph, which traditionally is not going to have a crazy amount of lume. This one does the trick. So again, big thanks to Richard over at Saltzman's. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next vid.